Hello, beautiful souls out there. I hope you're able to get out in nature like Starlight is. And yes, what a beautiful day. Yes, it is a beautiful day. And anyway, I love you so much. And don't mind Starlight. This breeze feels so good. I got the sun on my back. Woo! And I hope you're getting out in nature like Starlight is. And, you gotta get out there now before it's too late. Get out there now before it's too late. Anyway, I love you all. And if you are new to my YouTube channel, welcome. And you can find me on YouTube, and that is at Starlight, and that is Kathy with a K Dingman. Plus, you can give my videos a thumbs up, and you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. Plus, don't be afraid, don't be shy. Swing by and say hi, Starlight, by leaving me a message down below. Beep, beep, beep. And you can also share my videos with some geese. Your family first, then your friends, then the geese, then some wild turkeys. Starlight saw some wild turkeys. Plus, yeah, it's getting that time. At least in New York, they're near Thanksgiving Day, I think. Imagine it, turkey time. But anyway, besides sharing my videos with your friends and my friends, is that you could check out my playlist, and you can also follow me on Instagram at 1995 Starlights, or on Facebook, and that is Kathy with a K Dingman Starlight. And a big, huge thank you to all of you who have been here loving and supporting Starlight. And thank you all. I really appreciate all of you, because I finally got 1,000 hours watched on my YouTube channel. Yay! And I couldn't do that without you. So thank you, all of you who have been here, watching my videos, subscribing, leaving me thumbs up, leaving me a message, or even sharing my videos. Thank you. Thank you. Yay. I appreciate all of you. And also, if you want to send love to Starlight, you can on my Cash App. And if you don't have Cash App, you can always download that app and, to send some love to Starlight's way. I really would appreciate it. Plus, thank you again. Thank you for being here and joining me. And I've been meeting a lot of people lately, but I need to give my YouTube channel name out, so then they can find out why is Starlight at McDonald's every morning. Everybody's investigating Starlight out here. What is she doing out here? Why is she reading her Bible every morning? So anyway, I love you so much. And today's video is because somebody reached out to me on a message on my YouTube channel, and thank you for being here, loving and supporting Starlight. And I'm gonna just touch on one of the topics that this person brought up. And some of you might be going through this, or have gone through this, or you're dealing with this, so it's one of, because we all have temptations, we all have something, we all have things that we gave up, and now and it is something. It's just all these different things that you can have a temptation. It could be alcohol, it could be cigarettes, it could be marijuana, drugs, sex. Why not, right? Some people, they have an addiction to having sex all the time, or even porn. Let me see, addictions like what kind of food you eat, and let's see, food, yeah, a lot of different kind of foods, drinking, like, yeah, I said drinking, all kinds of things that, temptations, it might be a particular kind of food that you are like, I really like it, but I gave it up because I know it's not good, and now, yeah, you're gonna think about these things. You can't help that from happening, because throughout my life, I'm so proud of myself. I gave up smoking cigarettes a long time ago. I started at a very young age, and I quit like right when I found out, around the time when my son was born, so that was a good thing to, at that time. And really the reason why I quit that is because I was being used. People, like, women were acting like they were my friends, and they weren't my friends. Stop bumming cigarettes off of me. That's all you want me for. So yeah, so Starlight decided, you know what, and the price went to $5. I was smoking Newport 100s, a long time ago. I really couldn't do the Marlboro 100s, but Newport 100s was menthol kind. So those are the kind of cigarettes that Starlight, and I am so grateful that God helped me to quit that, because really all that money that I bought those cigarettes, half of that pack was getting handed out to someone, and then the price went up to $5 a pack. I don't know how people afford smoking cigarettes today. I mean, like, for a pack, what is it, a carton, 20 something dollars for a carton of box of cigarettes. And so anyway, so yeah, I am so grateful. Now, when I was in my apartment, I gave up my alcohol, whatever alcohol, wine, mixed drinks, because I was doing both. I was doing mainly wine every day, or mixed drinks, because Starlight liked that too, and I gave that up. That was easy. That was easy for me. I actually gave a whole bottle of liquor away for free. I'm like, you know what? Because normally what I would have done is just, like, finish what I had and just, quit. But I realized when I quit my my drinking wine or liquor, is I said, I am ready right now to quit. So, I would find somebody that will take a whole bottle, not even opened, for free. I'm gonna give you this for free. You want this? Sure, all right, easy. There it goes, So, and that is, that was not even hard, Yeah, so every night, I didn't have, that wine to drink, and I was drinking in the morning at times, on the weekends, and especially in the wintertime, nowhere to go, it's cold outside. Starlight would wake up, because it was the weekend, didn't have to go into work, didn't have any responsibilities, wasn't driving anywhere, and I would have had only a glass of wine in the morning, might have been finishing up my glass of wine from the night before that Starlight didn't finish. Yes, I did that. But, and then marijuana. Marijuana was a different story, I have to say, because throughout my life, I started at the age of 16. I didn't really know anything about marijuana because I was out of school at 16. I didn't go back to school, when summer was ending. Well, it wasn't ending because September I would have been going back to school, but in August, on my birthday month, I think I wanted to get out of the house before my birthday, and I did. I got out of my house by accident. It happened all by accident. So either way, I started when I was 16 years old on marijuana, and it was because my brother smoked it. And I thought, well, it's got to be okay if my brother smokes it, so I'm going to smoke it. And that's how I ended up my first time getting high from a stranger. And I'll tell you what, wow, was Starlight, like, stoned. I had no clue. I don't even know how I got through that. I didn't even know anything about how to smoke anything. I wasn't really even smoking cigarettes. I wasn't even buying cigarettes, but I knew what they were like because my relatives used to throw them out on the ground because my parents didn't smoke, and we would go and get their little, their butts. We didn't get their butts. Here, I'm going to pick your butt off cigarette butts, or my stepmother would have a pack of cigarettes and I would sneak a couple out of her pack, and I never liked cigarettes. So that was a disgusting habit. But marijuana is, when I started smoking, I was fried. I didn't know about, how many hits. I didn't know nothing about anything about marijuana, because I was too young to learn anything. I did hear about drugs, but I didn't know what marijuana was. I didn't know what the effects were or anything. And so I started at the age of 16, and I'll tell you what, in the beginning it was really tough once you started really liking it and, you know, um, getting more of a feel of it than, you know, the first time is, and then there's times that I struggled getting it, you know, scraping for it. Ooh, what a horrible thing that, you know, just like people that smoke cigarettes, what they will do to get their next cigarette, you know, when they don't have any money. What will you do to get that next cigarette or that next cigarette pack, you know, bum them from someone, right? What if nobody wants to, you know, I hope you're paying somebody back for all the cigarettes that you bummed off, right? See, Starlight would never bum anybody's cigarettes. That was my issue. I never went and asked anybody for cigarettes. They always, you know, I'm like, hey, I'll buy my own pack. I don't want to bum, you know. But with marijuana, that's the same kind of thing that goes on with like people that smoke or drink or whatever, you know, even any kind of thing, you know, at least for like things that you can eat or smoke or drink, you know, is that you get people with marijuana, hey, I'll get you high. And, you know, people always like to get people high, you know. They might be selective on who they smoke with because, you know, when you get stoned. But I've started smoking, quit. Sometimes I didn't have any money to go and get it, so I couldn't smoke it, you know. But I was thinking about it the whole time. You're, you know, jonesing for that, you know, joint somewhere. And so my whole life, that's what it's been like is, you know, it's kind of funny as I got older, I seen that it was easier. When I was really young starting off, that seemed like the hardest part is to ever quit it, you know, when you got used to smoking it. As an adult, I found it easier to, like, you know, when I had my mindset, boom, I could just walk away like it never happened. Now, there's people that say it's addictive, and I have to say on that point is, like I said, for me, when I had my mindset that I didn't want to smoke, I would smoke the one day and the next day not smoke. But not everybody can do that. So I believe depending on who you are, it can be very addictive to you or at certain ages, like I said. So everybody's probably got a different story as far as addictions go. You know, it is, some people say it's not addictive, and some people say it is addictive. It's a habit. You're starting a habit, you know. I always believed if you do something more than 3 times, you know, each day, you know, like if you smoke today, then, you know, tomorrow you smoked, and what time did you smoke? You know, if you got a habit of smoking in the daytime, today, like smoking marijuana, and then tomorrow, you know, you might have that same, like around, you know, that same kind of time, you know, you might feel like you want to have a joint or a bowl or whatever, how you smoke it. Then the next day, and then after that, it's like now you want it all the time. That's how my life experience has been. After 3 days, you know, of doing something consistently, you know, and that could even be sex, you know, you could have a partner and, you know, hey, yeah, let's do it, you know, and that could be addictive too with a lot of people. And so it is normal for you want to go back to those different addictions, like even having a sweet tooth, you know, quitting like, hey, I'm not going to eat junk food anymore. And then, you know, there's certain things that are going to bring you back to wanting to, you know, have that junk food. Well, did you eat it, you know, at nighttime before you went to bed like Starlight used to? You know, like I like crunching on something before I go to bed. So at nighttime you could have that addiction thing going on right before you go to bed. Now marijuana, depending on what your habit was, you know, a long time ago, is when you quit, you know, were you a person that liked to wake and bake? Did you like smoking it in daytime? Did you like going out in nature doing it? Did you, you know, have people that you smoked it with? What kind of music did you have? What kind of people were you hanging out? Are you hanging out with people that smoke now? So all these things are gonna, you know, can bring you back into those addictions that you could have had, or things that you enjoyed, like a habit, you know, either a habit or an addiction. And everybody's different. Some people can quit marijuana like I can, you know, and other people struggle with it. So I believe it's individually, you know, depending on how strong you are for a person. Maybe you always have a hard time quitting things, you know, where other people might have, you know, they're able to do that more discipline in their life, you know, than other people. So, so is it bad to go back to something after you gave it up? And that's all really. Now, my life experience on that is okay. Like, we're gonna not talk about marijuana. We're gonna talk about other kind of addictions. So why did you quit in the first place? So, you know, I'm gonna we could talk about, like, well, with you, the person that asked this question, why did you quit? What caused you to want to quit smoking marijuana? And that is something. What was that? You know, I don't know what you said, but depending on why you quit in the first place, now your story could be a whole lot different than my story. Now, if I wasn't where I am right now, and if, you know, there's a certain someone out there in the world somewhere, where is he? Where does he live? Is that this special man out there doesn't smoke marijuana and is not willing to go out with anybody that does smoke marijuana. That wasn't the only reason why I quit. That was a big, huge reason why I quit. And then I realized later on is I had to quit because I was ready to do it. I couldn't quit, and I did. I tried to quit because, hey, I desire you in my life. You don't want me to smoke marijuana. I understand that totally. I really didn't want to be with men that drink alcohol. Why? Because I've been abused by men that drink alcohol. So, you know, so it's okay that somebody, you know, wants to be in a relationship, and like, it's like, hey, I don't want to, you know, be with somebody that eats animals when I don't eat animals. I don't want to be with somebody that drinks alcohol. I don't want to be with somebody that smokes cigarettes. I don't want to be with somebody that smokes marijuana. That's, hey, that person has absolutely, you know, that's absolutely 100% okay. They know what they want. That's a good thing. So what is it? Why did you quit in the first place? Is it so bad that it would cause some problems in your life to happen all over again? With me, it's because I'm on a mission with God. This is the biggest reason right here, is I'm on a mission with God, and it was tripping me up. It was distracting me because I would, you know, hours would go away, you know, 3 hours of, you know, being high, and now I wasted 3 hours in a day, and then it could get worse. I could smoke another time and then waste another 3 hours in my day. I need all the hours in every minute and every second, every day, so I can be and do what God wants me to do, work on the things that I need to work on every day. So my time is priceless. You know, like I am so picky about who I spend time with because my time is valuable. You know, so it's so important. If you don't have any, you know, like the doctor didn't say anything about that you need to quit marijuana, and Starlight I had to not smoke marijuana anymore, is because I'm out here serving God. I am on a mission. This is my job. This is my duty. You know, and there's that man out there somewhere, you know, look at that, I'm married already. So there's that man out there, you know, is it really worth for me to light up and smoke right now? And where am I going to get the money? What am I going to do? Go around and ask people, you know, hey, I need some marijuana right now, you know? So for me, it doesn't work. But for you, you know how many times I went back to marijuana because, you know, I gave it up for a while, and I believe it's great to do that. You know, show yourself how strong you are and how you can be strong about saying no to temptations or, you know, habits that you might have. So it's great to say, hey, look at what I can do. I gave it up for a few months. I gave it up for a year, and you know what? I really want to do it now. I don't have anything that, you know, is going to trip me up in my life right now. You know, is it going to make you feel guilty all the time about doing it? See, now with Starlight, you know, if I started smoking marijuana right now, I might as well just, you know, God would be really upset with me because I'm on this mission. And the man that I am in head over heels over, you know, like, he might be on this mountain now and I'll be seeing him at a distance, but that could all fade away over, lighting up, and smoking marijuana. Am I willing to take that risk? Absolutely not. So do I get tempted? Does it come up in my head? Absolutely. I smell it. I can smell it, and I love the smell of marijuana. Like if I wasn't here doing this, I would love to light one up right now. But no, I got responsibilities right now, and I have to do what I'm doing. So anytime that temptation comes up, or I can smell it, I've found it before. I could easily right now, if I went to somebody's house right now, I'd get a whole bag of it for free, and I won't go to that area because I don't want to take, that risk of doing that. It's not worth it for me. It's like losing everything that I've worked so hard to build. It would be like flushing it right down the toilet. So you got to ask yourself, is there, is by smoking, is it going to ruin your life? Why did you quit? You got to ask that yourself, and if you're around people that smoke all the time, yeah, you're going to definitely want to smoke, and smelling it, seeing it, or whatever, like even driving by and having the stores. I know what it's like. I know what it's like. I see the stores out here, but I don't like that. I don't know about the stuff out in the store. Like I hear medical marijuana. I don't really know anything enough about medical marijuana. I used to smoke that long time ago. I did get high though, so there's a lot of risk, I mean, like with it, so that is why I don't. But with you, it might be absolutely okay, at your age, and, you know, um, it's marijuana is not all bad, but if it doesn't work for you, it's not meant for you. But if you think it's going to screw something up in your life and it's going to mess things up in your life, then really you got to be strong through this time. And as time goes on, it's going to be easier for you. And don't try to fight those thoughts when you have them. Is just have it, when it comes, because this happens to me. It's just don't try to fight with those thoughts. It's just let it go by like a gray cloud in the sky, just like it's going to go away. Don't try to fight it, because you're going to make it come. And you're going to want to avoid being around people that smoke. You can't get around about, it's kind of weird out here. I really haven't smelled it out in this area. But there's people out here somewhere smoking it somewhere. I know they are, So there's no way you're going to avoid the smell. You could go into a Walmart parking lot or any parking lot anywhere, and somebody could smoke in while they're driving around in their cars, and that happens a lot. It's not a wise person, because now you got the smell all in your car, and you keep driving down the road and do something stupid, because that's what, stupid things do happen when you're high. And then bam, the officers are there, and they're going to smell the whole car with marijuana. That smell, that's something you can't really cover it up. If somebody doesn't smoke and they come into your house, they're going to pick up that smell. You'd have to have a lot of incense going in that house, or something smelly, to cover that smell up. So you got to be the one to really think, is it really worth me bringing it back? Can you afford it? Is it going to make you broke? If your doctor didn't say anything about you should not do it, then, don't feel guilty that you want to go back and do it. Like I said, if I didn't have all this going on right here, I would love to, but I do. I got all this. I worked so hard to get to where I am right now. It's not worth throwing everything in the trash, just to get high. So that is something that you got to figure out, and anybody else that's watching this, for any kind of addictions out there or things that you're struggling with, is think, why did you quit in the first place? If you quit, like alcohol, for instance, that's a great one, or even other stronger drugs. Hey, I ended up in the hospital. Well, it's a good thing not to do that again, And if you are going through something like that, go get help. Say, you know what? I gave up alcohol, and now I feel like I want to do it again. I was abusive in the relationship. I was drinking and driving, and it caused a lot of chaos in my life. Go get help. There's a lot of help out there. You can call, get some help. Go see therapy, so then they can help you out with that. You don't want to let that go. You really want to just get help if you're really struggling with things like that. And also with porn, they also have help for people that have such an addiction it overtakes them. And I want to talk about that topic another time about porn. So anyway, I love you. And even like sweets, your doctor, there's people that have health problems, and if they eat too much sugar or not enough sugar and all this stuff, man, yeah, you gotta replace it with something else. Replace that kind of stuff with something else. Hey, you know what? Is I can't do this. I got to eat something else. So I love you so much. I hope you really got a lot of help from that video. You could give this video a thumbs up. You could subscribe to my YouTube channel. Plus, you could leave me a message down below, beep, beep, beep. And you could share my videos with your family, your friends, a dog, and a rooster. Plus, you can check out my playlist and find me on Instagram at 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook, and that is Kathy with a K, Dingman Starlight. I love you all. It's up to you. If you think, hey, I got the money, and no, it wasn't really a big problem. I just needed to back off of it for a while, but be careful when you do start, marijuana. Make sure you just start off slow if you're going to go back to that, so, if it's not going to be a big problem, then start off slow if you do it. Make sure you know where you're getting it from. Make sure the people that you get it from that you can trust. Because that's a issue out there in this world, is if you don't know where you're getting it from, it could be laced with something. So always be mindful of that when anytime, especially with marijuana or even drinking alcohol, because somebody can slip something in your glass, and your world can go totally upside down, because it's happened to me. Somebody put crack underneath a pipe before, and I didn't know it. So watch out for that stuff. If anybody out here does smoke marijuana and didn't watch my other videos on drugs. So I love you so much. This is Starlight. Namaste. This is Starlight, love, light, and